Welcome to More Living with Jim Brogan, your source of information for living the best years of your life your way. For more than a decade, host Jim Brogan and his expert guests have come together each week to share important news and advice that can impact the lives and well-being of those who are retired and those nearing retirement. Learn about issues like health and fitness, financial planning, Social Security benefits, investment advice, and more. And now, here's the host of More Living, Jim Brogan.
Good morning, East Tennessee. Welcome to More Living with Jim Brogan, where it's all about living the best years of your life your way. This is News Talk 98.7 WOKI, and it's just so hard to believe that we are 1 week from Christmas. 2020 has just flown by. I know 2020 has been in many ways a challenging year, in many ways a good year. Hey, I have my wife, Dee Dee, with me. Good morning, Dee Dee.
Good morning. Glad to be here this morning at our kitchen table. This is fun.
Yeah, it's great. So I know we love the Christmas season, and it's one of our favorite times of year. We love when all the lights come out, although you don't like it when the lights come on in October, right?
No, I'm an anti. I do not turn on the Christmas lights. Hang them, don't plug them in, and don't shine them until, Thanksgiving.
That's right. But it's so beautiful, and of course, the family memories. We got our trees trimmed. We got all the lights on in the house. I know 2020 has been a difficult year for many of you, with social distancing and limiting travel. I know your Christmas traditions this year may not be possible, or we maybe need to be modified. But we can still take the next couple of weeks and really make this time of year very magical as we focus on our relationships with the people we love and ultimately focus on the reason for Christmas. So I'm thrilled that Dee Dee's joining with us this morning, and I'm also thrilled to have WVLT's evening news anchor, Brittany Tarwater. So welcome to the show, Brittany. It's great to have you with us. I'm thrilled to have you.
Hi, I am too. Thanks for having me. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
To you as well and your family.
Thank you. We're excited. We've got a 1-year-old. He turned 1 like 2 weeks ago. So this is a very special Christmas for us.
So yeah. I guess December is a special month for you since you have a baby that just turned 1 in December. This is magical for sure.
Sorry, I'm sorry. My connection must have dropped there. Yes, we're very excited, and we've got everything decorated. It's all safely. We've got gates around Christmas trees, and we're trying to keep everything about out of reaching distance this year. So decorations are a little different this year, but it's still really special.
Brittany, our kids are a little bit older. We have a sophomore in college and a 9th grader. And it's so interesting as they grow up and they get in these new phases. It's exciting. It is in some ways it's sad, but in a lot of ways it's exciting. But I think back, Christmas time is a time that I know Dee Dee and I really remember when our kids were so young and when they were little children. It was just great.
Well, what I love, Jim, the most, and Brittany, you'll find this, is as your kids grow, I learned at an early age that I couldn't mourn every phase of life for them because they stopped sucking a passy or they're out of diapers. I mean, being out of diapers is a really good thing. But I figured out very quickly to not mourn those and be sad about those things, but to embrace what was coming as they grow as little people, because the goal is to raise these humans that are, productive in society and contributing and good people that can think about others and that really add something, value to other people's lives and have purpose in their lives. And so the craziest thing about having older kids now is that there's still a childlike persona in them that still makes the holidays magical because we're all family and there's such a deep bond there. So, as the baby gates are going to go, and as they go, the magic is going to still remain as long as you guys figure out how to make it magical and you connect so well as a family. So I'm excited for you for your first, I guess, really second Christmas with your baby, but where the baby is a little bit more aware of what's going on. That's exciting.
Yes, thank you. I think those are really good points that we've all experienced this year. Is we want them to get big, and we're so proud of them, but when they grow out of things that you also found special as a parent, it is hard, but but like you said, it's just very special, especially this time of year.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet. I know as my kids, when we have two girls, but you know, I always loved every phase. But hey, Brittany, I want our listeners to get to know you a little bit better outside TV. Let's kind of go back a little bit. I know you grew up in Tampa, and you came to Knoxville to swim at the University of Tennessee. And I guess you liked it here. You decided to stay. Of course, you also met your husband at the University of Tennessee. But, you know, what is that why you stayed in Knoxville, or did you love the area? Was it kind of all of the above?
I think it all came together at the same time. I grew up as a swimmer in Florida, and I was recruited by the University of Tennessee, and I really enjoyed my time here, and kind of grew up here, I suppose, in those years. And I met my husband at the end of my college career. He was also a swimmer. He grew up in Knoxville, and then he went to the University of Michigan, and he was a swimmer there, a very good swimmer there, national champion. And then after, in 2008, he moved back to Knoxville, and that was at the end of my college career, and that's where we met and got to know each other. And when I was finished with school and with swimming, we started dating, and then he continued to swim, and he actually went to grad school at Oxford over in England. So
oh, wow.
he lived overseas. Yes, he lived overseas for about a year, finished his degree there, and then moved back to the States. And I ended up going back to school at the University of Tennessee, and I lived in Hazard, Kentucky. He lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, so we were all over the place just trying to get our careers going, and he was still swimming, and we both ended up back in Knoxville. We decided this would be our home base, and we were excited about that, and we started our family here, and we've been here ever since. Our neighborhood's all decorated for Christmas. It's really excited when the lights come on, so we're just thrilled to have our family here and to grow here.
Yeah, and of course your husband, of course you're speaking about Davis Tarwater, who of course grew up in Knoxville, went to Webb High School, I think, and you know, then is a gold medalist from the 2012 Olympics, right?
Yes, and that was also in London, so that was very special for him, kind of a homecoming for him of sorts, and earned a gold medal, and we're just so proud of him. And it was just, I think it was so special for our family to watch someone who we love a goal, a very special and very hard to reach goal.
Oh yeah,
to watch that dream come true was very special for us, and to do it in front of his friends and family. Both from here in Knoxville, but also in London, and then to see the community support, it was just outstanding. It was really something special to see everyone who supported his career and his goal and celebrated along with our family.
Now, do y'all
Brittany,
ever?
I'm curious. What did he have to, like, what did he go to study at Oxford? I'm just curious about education.
He studied, what was your Latin American studies?
Ah, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that fascinates me. And then the whole path that you all have is just really amazing, and how you ended up ultimately settling down here. What a great story. And now back to the Christmas, and then back to saying that, you know, that you're enjoying just your neighborhood this year, like your 2020 Christmas lights. I'm sure back in 2012 you weren't thinking about the Christmas lights potentially in a neighborhood together. That's awesome.
Brittany, did you all ever feel a little bit friendly competition in terms of your swimming careers?
Well, his swimming career was at a different level than mine, that's for sure. But we have a lot of crossover, which is really interesting. He went to the University of Michigan to swim. My dad played football at the University of Michigan, so I already had that place that was very special in my heart. And then to know some of the same people from up in Michigan, and that was one thing that was very special. And then my college coach, Matt Credits, who is still the coach now, actually it's a combined program, and he coaches the men and women. And just had tremendous success. They earned an SEC title as a team last season. And his first year in Knoxville was my first year in Knoxville. So, and then when Davis was back home in 2008, he started a relationship with Matt as a coach as well. So he swam for Matt. So I think we've just, having known one another in both of our swimming careers, in different phases of our swimming careers, and then, getting our real careers started and, going through both of our education, we both earned our master's degree at the early part of our relationship. I think we've just learned how to support one another individually and as a couple, and that's just made us stronger 15 years later.
Yeah, that's a great story. Hey, I'll tell you what, I want to get to our first break when we come back. I want to talk a little bit about how you started your career with the Vol Network. And then we're going to get into Christmas traditions. So we're visiting this morning with Brittany Tarwater of WVLT News. I've also got my wife, Dee Dee, is co-hosting with me today, so stay tuned. You're listening to More Living with Jim Brogan right here on News Talk 98.7 WOKI.
You are listening to More Living with Jim Brogan. During the week, Jim is a financial advisor, an author and speaker with an MBA from the University of Tennessee, who specializes in helping people in or near retirement plan for the next phase of their lives. You can reach Brogan Financial during the week at 865-862-6800 or on the web at broganfinancial.com. And now, here's Senior Market Advisor Magazine's 2011 National Advisor of the Year and host of More Living, Jim Brogan.
Welcome back to More Living here on News Talk 98.7 WOKI. I'm your host, Jim Brogan. I'm thrilled to have my wife, Dee Dee, with me. We're co-hosting, and we're very excited to have Brittany Tarwater. She's the evening news anchor at WVLT News, of course, swam at the University of Tennessee. And, Brittany, you started your journalism career in college as a reporter for the Vol Network, I believe. And now you're evening anchor for WVLT. So when you were growing up, did you dream of being a reporter? Was that a goal of yours? Or did it just kind of evolve and happen?
Well, it did. It was always a dream. I don't know if I ever thought it would actually happen, but it was, and I started in sports because it's like a natural fit for me. My family, everyone in our family, we all play different sports, and some of us are swimmers. My sister is a really good swimmer. She swam at the University of Georgia. My dad was a football player. My brother's a hockey player. So sports have been one of the centers of our family. So it felt like a really good fit. And then coming to the University of Tennessee with all the resources and the people who were around me, I got an opportunity with the Vol Network and was a reporter and did some stories and some interviews when I was in college. And then I somehow landed a gig with John Pennington on the Sports Source, which it airs on Channel 6 on Sunday mornings, and was in way over my head with those guys. They were great and supported me. And then I actually went back to school at the University of Tennessee, got my master's degree in journalism, and then after that moved to Hazard, Kentucky, where I started my first job in news. And I was there for about 18 months before coming back to Knoxville, before I had an opportunity to work at WVLT. They took a chance on me and believed in me, and I'm grateful for it. So here we are.
That's great. Well, let me ask you this. So you went to UT, and of course Davis grew up here and then went to Michigan. So is your household orange and white, or is it blue and yellow?
It's great, and we're fortunate that we both love both universities.
That's great, yeah.
So, yes. I don't know what would happen. What would happen if we had to play one another.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Room.
My godfather, so I grew up in Knoxville. My dad worked for the University of Tennessee, and of course I have 2 degrees from Tennessee, so I definitely run orange and white. But my godfather, who was my dad's boss for several years at TVA, he was a big Michigan grad. So when I was growing up, Michigan was kind of like my second favorite football team when I was growing up watching college. So it's just kind of funny. Well, hey,
funny, yes.
So let's talk about, so you and Davis got engaged around Christmas, right? In 2015?
We did, and I'll tell you why. Christmas has just always been a special time for so many families, including ours. And sadly, in 2012, we lost my mother-in-law, Davis's mother, who was just such a special and wonderful person. We lost her on Christmas Eve suddenly, and that was very hard and still is very hard. And we find ways intentionally to bring joy to the season. And when we got engaged in 2015, I was part of what he said to me, that we're going to be joyful and we're going to celebrate this season and celebrate her life and who she is in our family, and remember her and honor her through our family and through celebration. So it is a very special time for us. We miss her dearly, but we celebrate what she gave to us and all of those gifts, and we try to honor her through our growing family. So we did get engaged actually yesterday. It was December 18th, 5 years ago.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that we can find moments that are painful, and we can take and transition them into something that is joyful and beautiful. And so, I mean, I would look at that and say, what a wonderful legacy she helped to leave through your marriage and through now your growing family. That's beautiful.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
She's also, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Brittany.
She was a really good cook, and she taught my husband how to cook when he was growing up, and when he was a young man back living in Knoxville, and that was one of the things that they did together and had a lot of fun doing together. And my husband is a wonderful cook, thank goodness, or else we would all starve. But we also celebrate through food and through cooking, and that's one of the bigger traditions that we have on Christmas Eve and on Christmas. We host our family on Christmas Eve, and we cook a big meal, and it's really fun. And a lot of times we talk about her in the kitchen and things that she liked and things she didn't like, and so it is a really sweet holiday for us.
So Brittany, do you all do the same Christmas Eve dinner each year, or lunch, or whatever your meal, or do you do different things, or do you change it up, or like what's special about Christmas Eve and how you host?
Well, we did, since we have been married, we did short ribs on the first year we were married, which so it would have been 4 months after. I know, that's my favorite. And we did that because that was our meal on our rehearsal dinner night.
Oh, no, that's a cool tradition, too.
Yeah, we've done some other meals. We did lamb one year, and we have done, actually, the year before last year, and then this year we are doing Philly cheesesteak and bolognese, because my dad's family is Italian, and he lives in Philadelphia, so we have taken
great.
on some
I love that.
Yes, I know, it's
great.
so fun.
Well, my family, several years ago, I started cooking this beef. It's a horseradish crusted beef tenderloin with a port wine reduction. And it's my daughter's favorite, especially my oldest daughter. It's like her favorite meal. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they made me start cooking that on Christmas Day. So that's become our kind of new Christmas tradition, and it's just developed in the last 5 years or so. But it's so fun to have those kind of memories and traditions. What other kinds of traditions, as you've got little baby Davis, what other kinds of traditions are you all wanting to introduce to him and include as you see him start to blossom, as he starts to develop personality?
Oh, that's a great question. We have, Davis's sister, so my sister-in-law, we have 3 nephews, and they live in Georgia, but 2 of them are older than Davis, not by much, and then 1 is younger. And I hope that he can spend time with them and celebrate with them and develop a relationship. And I mean, that's really the most important thing, is that
Sure.
he knows and can celebrate and look forward to that with his family. But this year we've gotten some decorations out that were my husband's when he was young. So it's fun to have Davis ornaments that are from the 80s and Davis ornaments that are from 2020 and 2019. So we'll just continue to decorate our tree with our family as it grows.
Now I have to ask, are you doing the elf on the shelf?
We haven't started that yet, but I think that one's inevitable. I think we will have an elf that visits our family because it's so.
I gotta tell you, the elf on the shelf. We've always done that.
I wish we could see each other, because we have 2, and they do move and they do fly at night to see Santa, even with college kids and high school kids, and they do bring a lot of joy. And Twinkle and Sparkle are around, and right now I'm sitting at my kitchen table and looking up at our kitchen light fixture, and one is hanging from the light fixture. So it's always fun. So you have to do Elf on the Shelf. It's just such a magical little moment for kids and families to just enjoy together.
Oh, I think it's so funny. I love seeing all my friends and their pictures of their elves getting into so much mischief. And do you all, do your elves get into some stuff?
Oh yeah, we've had rooms toilet papered, and we've had the baking disasters where you wake up and there's cookies that are made, but it's an absolute, the kitchen's a disaster with flour and sugar and all the things everywhere, so our elf has even pooped in the potty, so it's always fun to see the fun mischief that the elf gets into, both the good and the bad.
Yeah, Brittany, I have to say, my wife is definitely a creative, and so it's pretty interesting because she comes up with all kind of crazy things.
Oh, I love it! I love it. Now, when you decorate, does everything you do? Okay. Well, what else do you do?
So, for Christmas now, we live out on the lake, and we have each of my girls have a Christmas tree in their room with their theme, sort of their colors and so forth. And then we have a kitchen tree with that's fun, that's sort of whimsical, that's a flocked white tree. And then a massive tree in our main room that's just beautiful. So our family ornaments are on our fun flocked kitchen tree. We always hang wreaths, the traditional wreaths. I love candles in the windows. Those are really pretty, and I found some really great ones here at Lowe's that flicker, that are thicker, more modern and flicker, and they are stunning. And we even did our hanging of the greens outside. But I would say probably 2020 has been funny because my sweet little old landscapers got into my lights this year, and I was only going to string lights on my Christmas trees outside, the green trees, and I had special lights this year that remind me of my childhood that I had ordered that are just like old frosted colored 2-inch bulbs. Well, they all didn't come in. It was a disaster. So they got in my crawl space, found a bazillion lights, and decorated for me the outside of my house. And I turned those things on, and I thought the police were in my driveway because they were flickering. It looked like blue lights.
It was a disco ball.
It's like I thought we were having a rager or something in our driveway. I didn't know what in the world was going on. It's the funniest thing. So all of those I unplugged, but they are coming on tonight for a little holiday party that we're having with another family coming in. Just if we've got them, we might as well embrace it. One of my favorite traditions is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. We have a massive star that we built out of wood, just boards.
2x4s.
We painted it, we glittered it, and we string it with a bazillion lights, and we raise it really high, off of our house. And because we live on the lake, everybody across the lake sees it. It's massive. And so that's what they're like, when's the star getting hung? We love the star, So it's just, we have to throw shoes across beams to hoist it up. It's like a big ordeal. And so it's just a fun event for my family that even my college child left a party to come home to hang the star. And we always have like a special meal, hang the star and have a special meal, and then, set it up that night and go out and look at it and so forth. So we have lots of traditions. I mean, even, Easter or whatever, we really, that's, I think really what grounds probably Jim and I together, and just whether it be a birthday tradition or, so to me, traditions are important with friends and family.
Do you decorate the day after Thanksgiving? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dee Dee.
No, my phone is beeping. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we typically start decorating the house Thanksgiving weekend. That is when we do that. And it's been that has really become a tradition to do that at that time. I'll tell you what, we're going to get to our next break. We're really enjoying catching up with Brittany Tarwater, WVLT news anchor, and I've got my wife on the line with us this morning. We're co-hosting. When we come back, I'm going to have my dollars and cents segment. What do you need to be reviewing with your investments prior to the end of 2020? And then I want to get Brittany's perspective on 2020 itself and also what her thoughts are as we head into 2021. So don't go away. You're listening to More Living with Jim Brogan right here on News Talk 98.7 WOKI.
Through his weekly radio show, television news appearances, and adult education classes taught at the University of Tennessee and Pellissippi State Community College, Jim taps into his extensive knowledge and experience to address issues important to living your best retirement. Join Jim every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. here on News Talk 98.7 WOKI, and visit him online at BroganFinancial.com. And now, here's the host of More Living, Jim Brogan.
Good morning. It's a beautiful morning out on this weekend before Christmas. You're listening to More Living with Jim Brogan, where it's all about living the best years of your life your way. And I know for Dee Dee and me, my beautiful bride, Christmas is certainly one of our favorite times of the year. We got married in early December because we wanted a winter wonderland. We wanted a Christmassy kind of feel for both our wedding and our honeymoon. Our guest this morning, Brittany Tarwater, evening news anchor for WVLT News. Christmas, a very special time of year for her as well, as she and her husband Davis got engaged in Christmas season, and then they also had their first child a year ago during the Christmas season. Before we get back, we're going to talk more about a little bit more Christmas tradition, and then also the challenges of 2020 and the year looking ahead to 2021. We'd love to get Brittany's thoughts on that. Before we do get back to Brittany, however, it is time for dollars and cents.
Want to be sure you are getting the most out of your retirement? For all the years of your retirement? That's the primary goal of More Living with Jim Brogan and our Dollars and Cents segment, where we provide you with an important financial tip that will help positively impact the quality of your life in retirement. And now, here's Jim with this week's Dollars and Cents tip.
Are you wondering what you need to do by the end of the year to take care of your investments and your finances? Are you concerned about where the country and the economy are heading financially and how to prepare for that? So what are some things to be aware of? I think, it's been a choppy, volatile year in the market, obviously, with all the economic effects of the pandemic. At the same point, we've had massive stimulus, both from Congress and from the Federal Reserve. And so that's helped buoy the economy, or especially the stock market. So what do you need to be doing at the end of the year? I think one is you need to be reviewing your investment performance and taking a look at your asset allocation. How much do you have in stocks? How much do you have in bonds? Do you have alternatives like energy and real estate and commodities? Diversification means you have a whole bunch of stuff in your portfolio that doesn't move up and down together. So if one thing zigs, another zags. Have you really rebalanced your portfolio, and have you measured the risk in your portfolio? And then think about your decision-making process in 2020. Was it based on fear or emotion as we were going through a roller coaster of a year, or did you stick to a long-term plan? I think one of the great benefits of having a plan not just an investment plan, an overall financial plan. How you're going to draw income, where you're going to get money if you need money. How's your emergency fund set up? What does your tax planning look like? Do you have an estate plan? I mean, if you own something and you love somebody, you need an estate plan. And I think one of the benefits of having a truly comprehensive financial plan is it can take emotion out of the equation as much as possible. It doesn't mean we're not still a little emotional when we see these roller coasters in the market. But when we know we have a plan for that and we've measured risk and we, typically if we're measuring risk properly and we have a good plan and we understand our plan, you don't get an outcome that is wildly different than what you would expect. I mean, we know we have bear markets and we should have an understanding of what our investments are going to look like in a bear market. And how have we insulated ourselves from the effect of the bear market by having things like emergency funds, and if you're in your retirement years, you've got secure and stable income where you're not dependent on the stock market for short-term income. So I think as we get ready for 2021, you should be measuring your risk in your portfolio. Is it investing is all about balancing risk and reward. Do you have the right balance of potential reward, but then also the potential risk that goes with that? Have you measured it? Do you understand what it is? Do you understand how your plan has been crafted to meet your goals? And then finally, tax planning at the end of the year. One particular note is if you're over 72 years old, you did not have to take a required minimum distribution this year. So you may have an opportunity to do additional tax planning because you didn't have that big taxable distribution from your retirement accounts. You might want to do gain harvesting where you intentionally create capital gains. Can you take advantage of the low capital gains tax brackets of 0 and 15%? Should you be considering Roth conversions? So I think assessing all of this with your investment portfolio and with your tax planning, take a look at this before the end of the year and then get on the right path for 2021.
That's our Dollars and Cents segment for this week. You can find this week's Dollars and Cents segment and others by visiting BroganFinancial.com.
You can also, I have published a guide, Tax Planning in the New Age. And you can get that guide. It's complimentary at my website. If you go to BroganFinancial.com, click on the Resources tab, and you can download it right there. Again, Tax Planning for the New Age. I would love for you to get that. It's a complimentary download. You can also get our upcoming class schedule. I'll be at the University of Tennessee's Adult Education at the end of January. I believe it's the 28th, and then February the 4th. Love to see you there. It's 2 2-hour sessions. You can go to my website at BroganFinancial.com, and there you can click on classes, or you can go directly to FinancialSurvivalForRetirement.com. That's the name of the class, FinancialSurvivalForRetirement.com, and you can get more information, download a syllabus, and then click to register with the University of Tennessee. This is such a special time of the year. My wife and I, it's so special. We got married in the Christmas season. Our guest this morning, Brittany Tarwater, it's certainly a special time of the year for she and her husband. So many great memories. Got a new child that has just turned 1 year old. You mentioned food, Brittany, and food, does seem to be something that just brings a lot of people together. Are there special items that you're looking forward to this year for Christmas?
We're doing the Philly cheesesteaks this year, and
for Christmas
I got to be honest,
right.
my husband for Christmas Eve. My husband looks forward to that maybe a lot more than I do, and that's okay. but we'll make that. My dad actually sends the rolls because if you talk to any Italian man who lives in Philly, it's all about the rolls, and he's sending them down. So that will be a special treat. I know, because he can't be with us this year. So he will send them down. So we'll make that, and then we make the pasta from scratch. Another thing my dad taught me how to do and taught Davis how to do. He did that with us together. So we'll make everything from scratch, and we'll probably start doing that. We may start some of that this weekend.
Yeah, that's fun.
And Yeah. And then our secret recipe is we order our spinach Maria from Calhoun. And that's always a big hit.
Yeah, it's tough to beat their spinach Calhoun.
That's yummy. You can't beat Calhoun spinach Maria, can you?
I know.
I have to share with you that we just had Christmas with our office, our employees, and they're really a top-notch crew that we just have friendships with as well. So we're definitely a work family. And but they this year surprised us because we love to cook, and they gave us an attachment to go on my KitchenAid to start making homemade pastas. And we've never done it. And then they gave us a rack that you hang the noodles on, I think. I haven't even looked at how to do it. And then all of these pestos and these sun-dried tomatoes and these really cool, ingredients. So it's going to be such a fun process over this winter to learn how to do that, because we like to make homemade lasagnas and homemade beef stroganoff. But I've never made noodles. So this is going to be, so Jim and I are going to have fun. And, I love it because it's an event. It's like kind of like a date night, and the family can get involved. And it might be messy, but by God, it's so fun. And it creates those kitchen memories. Oh, I'm so sorry, my puppy's barking. I have a puppy.
I love it. Oh, I bet your house smells so good on the holidays. You're going to have so much fun doing that together. And if your kids can get involved, if they like to cook too, it is so much fun. And you're right, it's messy and it may not be perfect, but that's what makes it perfect. So have fun with it. It's just
our little ninth grader loves to get in the kitchen with us and cook, and she'll take the bull by the horns, and that's going to be a new memory that we're going to be creating. I'll tell you what, we're going to get to our final break, and we come back. I do want to get Brittany's thoughts, as I mentioned earlier, on 2020. Certainly been unlike any other year, and her thoughts as we move into 2021. So stay with us. This is More Living with Jim Brogan on News Talk 98.7 WOKI.
Thank you for listening to More Living with Jim Brogan. If you miss any of today's show or want to listen to it again, visit BroganFinancial.com, where you can access the podcast and other educational materials to help you in your journey through retirement. And now, here's Senior Market Advisor Magazine's 2011 National Advisor of the Year and host of More Living, Jim Brogan.
Thanks for tuning in to More Living this morning right here on News Talk 98.7 WOKI. I'm Jim Brogan. My wife, Dee Dee, has been co-hosting with me this morning. Christmas is such a special time. We've been visiting with Brittany Tarwater, evening news anchor for WVLT News. Brittany, 2020 has really been so unlike any year in our lifetimes, I think. And it's presented some unique challenges. I think it's also caused us to make reflection on what is most important in our lives. What are some of the good things that you think have come out of this year, or perspective that it has given you?
Well, it's such a good question. And for our family, I think there have been times where the virus feels very far away, and then there are times when it feels very, very close to home. And I have gone to work every day, and so my daily routine hasn't changed a whole lot, but my husband's has, and he owns a swim school in West Knoxville, and they had to close for quite a while in the spring, and there have been lots of different challenges, and that business just opened in February. So that's presented some challenges for our family, and he stayed home with the baby for several months, and the baby was young, and it's hard to do that by yourself. But I think, and with all the stress and uncertainty, it's so hard, especially earlier in the year. It's been so hard. But we found ourselves looking back and saying, had I just known that time would have been special, that you're not going to get that time back, and that you had all of that time to be together. Had we known to be grateful instead of stressed, had we known to be thankful for the time instead of just worrying about getting to the next day. And I think that's a little easier said on the other side of things. Not that we're totally in the clear yet, but I think my point is it's taught us to be thankful for where we are now. And having this baby in his first year of life, that's certainly been a good reason for us to celebrate. And we're thankful, not that it's a distraction, but we're thankful that we've had, kind of our inner unit that's been able to celebrate to his life and watch him grow. But I think it's been a good lesson in things that are out of your control, and learning how to celebrate your family. And we have some friends who are very, very close to us who have really struggled, both in sickness and financially, and our hearts hurt for them. But it's taught us a lot about celebrating our family and where we are.
Brittany, as you look forward to 2021, what are you looking forward to? And what's on the horizon for the Tarwater family?
I think like the rest of us, we're looking forward to being able to see our family again. We're hopeful that will happen. My family is out of state. Part of Davis's family is out of state as well. So we haven't been able to see much of them and see our nephews grow. So we're certainly looking forward to that. And we have a lot of hope. We have a lot of hope for our country and for our world that we'll start to heal, and that this virus will be in our rearview mirror.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when all this hit, from my perspective, we're always go, 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 go. We're always going, both in our business life and in our personal life. We're very social, but the pandemic made us slow down a little bit. And I really appreciated the perspective that gave me, because I spent more time at home. We spent more time together as a family. And yeah, the kids were starting to go stir crazy, and they still are a little bit, but it made me slow down and smell the roses, so to speak. I hate to use that cliche, but, things have picked up the last 2 or 3 months. And, from my perspective, I want to be careful that we don't forget those lessons that we've learned of the specialness of the relationships we have.
I think that's a really good point. Mm-hmm.
So with Christmas right around the corner, Brittany, you have special gifts already picked out for little Davis?
He's so hard to shop for. He grows so fast, it's hard to buy clothes, and we've got so many toys.
Santa needs to bring the diapers and a few little outfits.
Yes,
all the
please,
things.
Please, yes. But the thing that he loves books, which I'm so grateful for. He just loves books. So yes, I know it's really fun too. You tell him go get a book, and he'll go pick one out or bring one to your lap. So I think we're all about the books. And you can't go wrong with some stories. So
yeah, no, that's fantastic for a little baby like that to be so into books. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, Brittany, we're out of time today. Brittany Tarwater, evening news anchor for WVLT News. It's been so great to visit with you and get a little bit more sense of Brittany Tarwater, not the news anchor, but the mom and the wife and the just your perspective on everything that's going, and the daughter, and your perspective on everything that's going on. Thank you so much for taking time with us.
It has been so much fun talking with you. Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful, and Merry Christmas to you all. I hope that your family stays healthy and that you all have a great New Year.
Thank you so much, Brittany. We appreciate that and wish the same for you guys. Y'all have a blessed New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
You.
God bless
Merry
you and your
Christmas.
family and your little Davis.
Yeah.
That's Brittany Tarwater. That's Brittany Tarwater, WVLT News. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jill, producing the show as you listen to More Living with Jim Brogan on News Talk 98.7 WOKI.
The views expressed by Jim Brogan and his guests are not that of Cumulus Media. Any discussion of financial, legal, and tax planning strategies is not intended to be individualized advice and is general in nature. Always consult with your advisor for advice specific to your needs. This program's content does not represent a recommendation of any particular security, strategy, or investment by Jim Brogan or Brogan Financial Incorporated.